Hey everybody, John again, Contract Diagnostics. A question was about a split time for an academic job. The question was, my contract says 75%, 25% for clinical and research. And the question was, how should this time be allocated? So in academic contracts, oftentimes you'll see a percent. You'll see 95-5 clinical and administrative or research. You'll see, in this case, 75-25. Sometimes you'll see an 80-10-10 or an 80-15-5. But you'll see all different kinds of structures, most usually heavy weighted towards the clinical component. So now, how does that look? Well, we feel it should be very detailed in the agreement, and hopefully the academic position has a good detailed contract, and there's lots of specifics around what your expectations are for your work and your compensation. On the compensation side, a lot of times those academic contracts are very fluid and flighty with their incentive compensation structure. So if you have one, make sure you understand the incentive compensation plan. They should share that with you when you are doing due diligence and looking at the opportunity before you sign any letters of intent or contracts themselves, so you know what my pay is today and in the future. But if we go back to the 75-25, how should that be documented? Well, we feel the 75% should be documented very clearly, right? 75% of what? 75% of 5 days a week, 75% of 10 units or 10 sessions, each being 4 hours, Monday through Friday. What is 75% of? If the normal clinical schedule is 36 patient contact hours, is it 75% of 36 normal patient contact hours? I think all that should be defined. And then if you're 25% research or 25% admin or 25% education or academics, I think it's important to say what that is. So in this situation, maybe the contract, maybe it says something like the physician will work so many units per week in clinic and have so many units for their research. If that's the case, do we need to break it up further? Are these consecutive units, meaning you have a unit in the afternoon here and a unit in the morning there, or are they non-consecutive? You have a morning here, an afternoon there, and a morning there. Maybe you don't care, but from an efficiency perspective, I would want that very clear in my contract so I knew what my obligations were going to be regarding my time. So if you have an academic position and there's something in there, whether it's 95-5, whether it's 80-10-10, whether it's a 75-25, or a 60-40 or something in between. Make sure it's clear on what the 60-40 means. Make sure you understand what 25% of your time allocated to research means. Does it mean poking away in a lab? Does it mean poking away in an office? If so, do you have a dedicated office, or is it working remotely from home? Do you have to come in? Are there commitments in every week? And how do you document those commitments? If it's sort of an hour in your office or keeping track of hours at home, how do you do that? So I have a lot of good questions prepared for the employer when you're looking at an academic job, and there are percentages in the contract. I think it's very relevant to your happiness long-term at the position. So there's no encroachments on your schedule for the compensation they're offering. Any questions? Reach out. We're always here at contractdiagnostics.com. Find us online or info@contractdiagnostics and drop us a line. We'll be here anytime.